Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Saira Mushtaba and with me is Renuka RS with the evening news. The headlines. Centre says decision to ban wheat export taken in view of price rise. Assures public distribution system will continue to distribute wheat without any hitch. Tripura BJP President Dr. Shah elected as new Chief Minister after Biplab Kumar Deb resigns from CM's post. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says Russia-Ukraine conflict along with COVID pandemic impacted the world economy badly. Union Minister for Ports, Shipping and Waterways Sarbanand Sonowal asserts Indian cruise market has the potential to grow tenfold over the next decade. The Indian Embassy in Ukraine to resume operation in Kiev from the 17th of this month. G7 declares never to recognize new borders as a result of Russia's military operation of Ukraine. Elon Musk puts deal to buy Twitter on hold over number of fake or spam accounts on the social media platform. China pull out of hosting next year's AFC Asian Cup due to COVID-19 situation in the country. In Thomas Cup Badminton, India to face Indonesia in the summit clash tomorrow at Bangkok. India play their first ever final in 73-year history. And in IPL today, playoff match underway between Kolkata Knight Riders and Sunrisers Hyderabad at the MCA Stadium, Pune. And now the news in detail. The centre said, in view of the price rise of wheat, decision has been taken to regulate its export and has assured that Public Distribution System or PDS will continue to distribute wheat without any hitch. Addressing the media in New Delhi this afternoon, Secretary Food and Consumer Affairs Sudhanshu Pandey said that PDS system is the backbone of the country's food safety and security network. He said PDS covers almost 81.35 crore people and despite the rise in price of wheat in the international market, it will run smoothly in the country. He said all other countries except India are selling wheat at around $450 to $480 per ton in the market. He said this year in India, the opening stock for wheat was 190 lakh tons, which is less than last year's opening balance of 273 lakh tons. Mr. Pandey informed that last year the procurement of wheat was 433 lakh tons, whereas this year it was estimated to be 444 lakh tons. But so far the actual procurement is about 180 lakh tons. Mr. Pandey said the central government, in consultation with the states and concerned authorities, has taken a decision to reallocate some quantities by changing ratio of wheat and rice. He said the government has also boosted the availability of wheat by allocating additional 111 lakh tons.
We have boosted the availability of wheat by about 111 lakh metric ton more. So if you add that to 185, then it becomes 296 or so, which is almost at the same level of 273 last year. So we start with a very comfortable position.
Agriculture Secretary Manoj Ahuja said that the country is in safe position in terms of quantity and availability of wheat.
I don't think there is a crisis which needs to be imagined. There is adequate food available both in government stocks and in public and private stocks. Food consumption is an inelastic item, so that you can never have a sudden increase in either consumption or decrease in consumption.
Commerce Secretary BVR Subramanian said that there is no crisis of wheat and adequate food stock is available in the country. He said unregulated trade is the reason behind the rising prices of wheat and the prime goal of the government is to check inflation.
The availability per se is not an issue, but the unregulated trade is pushing the prices up. The information that is now coming in is leading to speculative trading, which is pushing the prices up. And therefore, it is government's primary responsibility to ensure that the prices are maintained, availability is maintained, and everybody who genuinely needs it is given assurance that you will continue to get it.
In Tripura, after Biplab Kumar Deb resigned from the CM post this afternoon, Rajya Sabha MP and State BJP President Dr. Shah has been declared as the new CM of Tripura by the party's legislators. Newly elected CM Dr. Shah would take oath tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Party legislators in presence of Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav, Central Observer Vinod Sonkar and other central leaders will be meeting Governor Satyadev Narayan Arya this evening. Earlier in the day, Tripura Chief Minister Mr. Biplab Kumar Deb submitted his resignation letter to the Governor Satyadev Narayan Arya this afternoon. Talking to media, he said that in view of the forthcoming assembly election, this is very much needed to look into the organizational matters and to strengthen the party. The state assembly election is stated to be held in February of 2023. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that the Russia-Ukraine conflict, along with COVID pandemic, has impacted the world economy and it is going through a difficult phase. He added the Government of India has initiated a number of steps to deal with these challenges and the results are visible. Addressing an event in his parliamentary constituency Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh today, Mr. Singh said that due to the government's all-round efforts, the Indian economy is witnessing a V-shaped recovery. He said surveys of various agencies have predicted that India will continue to grow as one of the fastest growing major economies in the world. He added that our exports are continuously increasing and setting new records.
Union Minister for Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Sarbanand Sonowal, has asserted that Indian cruise market has the potential to grow tenfold over the next decade, driven by rising demand and disposable incomes. He was speaking after inaugurating the first Incredible India International Cruise Conference 2022 in Mumbai today. Sonowal further said that the Government of India realizes this potential and is determined to position India as a global cruise hub with state-of-the-art infrastructure for both ocean and river cruises. Stating that India is a magnificent cruise destination, Sonowal said several attractions of India along its 7,500-kilometer long coastline and vast river systems are yet to be unveiled to the world. He said the global players have evinced a keen interest in promoting cruise tourism in India, and with the development of the right infrastructure and adoption of modern technology, India will certainly become one of the top tourism destinations in the world. Minister of Communications, Electronics and IT Ashwini Vaishnav launched Gati Shakti Sanchar portal in New Delhi today. This integrated and centralized portal will facilitate smooth deployment of digital communications infrastructure across the country. To streamline the process and for faster clearance of right-of-way ROW with transparency, accountability and effective monitoring of various digital-based projects, this portal was envisaged. Speaking after inaugurating the portal, Mr. Vaishnav said this portal will surely help in the rollout of the 5G network across the country. He said the integration of various infrastructures on this portal will help get clearance of right-to-way application within a span of 20 to 22 days.
The Gati Shakti framework basically for integrated planning, integrated execution of all infrastructure services, whether it is highways, railways, waterways, cable, electricity, transmission line. रेलवे लाइन सब जगह जा रही है, हाईवे देश भर में लंबा चौड़ा नेटवर्क है, क्यों न इसके अलॉन्ग पहले से केबल डक्ट बना दी जाए, तो अब उस केबल को भारत नेट के लिए भी यूज कर लो और कोई भी टेलीकॉम सर्विस प्रोवाइडर अगर यूज करना चाहे तो वो भी यूज कर ले। ये सोच है, ये थॉट प्रोसेस है जो कि गति शक्ति।
The Delhi government has ordered a magisterial inquiry into the Munka fire incident. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal announced this after visiting the spot today. He said the families of the deceased will be given 10 lakh rupees compensation, while the injured will be given 50,000 rupees compensation. The Chief Minister said it was a massive fire, many people were killed and their bodies were charred beyond recognition. He said the Delhi government has extended necessary help to identify the dead. Deputy Commissioner of Police, Outer District, Sameer Sharma said out of 27 bodies recovered, 25 are yet to be identified. He said the forensic team will check DNA samples. Mr. Sharma said missing complaints have been registered in respect of 28 persons. He said rescue operation is on and the NDRF is checking if there are more bodies. The DCP said a total of 50 people have been rescued so far. A massive fire broke out in a commercial building located near Munka metro station last evening. Around 30 fire tenders were rushed to the spot to douse the flames. Speaking to AIR News, Dwarka Fire Officer Satpal Bharadwaj said they received a call yesterday.
बेसमेंट ग्राउंड और 3 मंजिल ऊपर है। कुछ पैकिंग का काम होता था और उसके अंदर जब आग लगी मीडियम फायर लेवल की थी तो उसमें से 27 कैजुअलिटी निकाली। लगातार 5 घंटे काम करने के बाद सारे फ्लोर के ऊपर आग बुझा दी है।
The President has appointed 9 advocates as judges of the Delhi High Court. In a press release, the Ministry of Law and Justice said Tara Vitsta Ganju, Mini Pushkarna, Vikas Mahajan, Tushar Rao Gidela, Manmeet Preetam Singh Arora, Sachin Datta, Amit Mahajan, Gaurang Kant and Saurabh Banerjee have been appointed as judges of the Delhi High Court in that order of seniority, with effect from the date they assume charge of their respective offices. The Supreme Court Collegium led by Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana had recommended their names for appointment.
The Assam government has distributed nearly 23,000 appointment letters today for various posts. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma handed over the appointment letters to some of the selected candidates in an event held in Guwahati today. A total of 22,958 persons got appointment letters in 11 departments. The Education Department has recruited a maximum of 11,063 candidates, followed by 8,867 in the Home Department. Union Home and Cooperation Minister Ahmad Shah has formally inaugurated the National Cyber Forensic Laboratory NCFL in Hyderabad today. The Home Minister inaugurated the premium laboratory at the premises of the Central Forensic Science Laboratory located at Ramanatapur in the city. The Cyber and Information Security Division of the Home Ministry has set up the NCFL at the CFSL under Cyber Crime Prevention Against Women and Children scheme. The project was awarded to the CFSL with an estimated cost of about 35.51 crore rupees.
Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh today said that terrorism is waning in Jammu and Kashmir, adding the situation is peaceful in Valley, which is evident from the fact that a record number of tourists are visiting Kashmir Valley. However, he said that some elements who do not want peace and normalcy fully restored in Kashmir Valley are indulging in killing innocent people to create an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty. The Union Minister was talking to media persons on the sidelines of a function in Kathua today. Dr. Singh criticized the opposition leaders for not taking a clear-cut stand against terrorists and Pakistan for unleashing terror in Kashmir Valley. Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav participated in the BRICS high-level meeting held virtually yesterday. Speaking at the BRICS high-level meeting on climate change, the Prime Minister highlighted the relevance of the forum to jointly address climate change, to explore approaches to accelerate low-carbon and resilient transition, and to achieve sustainable recovery and development. The BRICS high-level meeting was chaired by Chinese Minister for Ecology and Environment, Wang Runqiu, and was attended by environment ministers of BRICS nation including Brazil, Russia, India and South Africa. Mr. Yadav mentioned that ambitious implementation of climate actions by developing countries is contingent on the ambitious and adequate delivery of climate finance, technology transfer and other implementation support as mandated by the UNFCCC and the Paris Agreement. He expressed optimism towards the delivery of climate finance as per the Glasgow decision and the climate finance delivery plan released by the COP26 presidency. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Centre says decision to ban wheat export taken in view of price rise assures public distribution system will continue to distribute wheat without any hitch. Tripura BJP President Dr. Manik Saha elected as new Chief Minister after Biplab Kumar Deb resigns from CM post. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says Russia-Ukraine conflict along with COVID pandemic impacted the world economy badly. Union Minister for Ports, Shipping and Waterways Sarbanand Sonowal asserts Indian cruise market has the potential to grow tenfold over the next decade. The Indian Embassy in Ukraine to resume operation in Kyiv from 17th of this month. G7 declares never to recognize new borders as a result of Russia's military operation of Ukraine. Elon Musk puts deal to buy Twitter on hold over number of fake or spam accounts on the social media platform. China pull out of hosting next year's AFC Asian Cup due to COVID-19 situation in the country. In Thomas Cup Badminton, India to face Indonesia in the summit clash tomorrow at Bangkok. India play their first ever final in 73-year history. And in IPL today, playoff match underway between Kolkata Knight Riders and Sunrisers Hyderabad at MCA Stadium, Pune. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Welcome back, listening to the evening news. The Indian embassy in Ukraine, which is temporarily operating out of Warsaw in Poland, would be resuming its operation in Kyiv with effect from the 17th of this month. The embassy was temporarily relocated to Warsaw on the 13th of March this year. President Ramnath Kovind embarked on a state visit to two nations, Jamaica and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, this morning. This is the first ever visit by an Indian head of state to these Caribbean nations. The President will be in Jamaica from the 15th to the 18th of May, where he will hold delegation-level talks with his counterpart, the Governor-General of Jamaica, Sir Patrick Allen. Mr. Kovind will also pay a state visit to St. Vincent and the Grenadines from the 18th to the 21st of May and hold discussions with his counterpart, Governor-General Ms. Susan Dugan. Our correspondent accompanying the President has filed this report.
The visit of the President Kovind to Jamaica and St. Vincent and Grenadines assumes importance as both these nations are active members in the Caribbean community. The first ever head of state visit to these countries is a continuation of India's high-level engagement in the Caribbean region and emphasizes India's continued commitment to work with small island developing countries. This is Arun Kumar Singh for AIR News.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today signed the condolence book at the Embassy of United Arab Emirates in New Delhi, extending India's deepest condolences on the passing away of Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the late President of the United Arab Emirates. In a tweet, Dr. Jaishankar said, India will always be thankful for the vision and leadership of Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan that has brought both countries so close. He said we best honour him by taking forward the India-UAE strategic partnership. National flag flown at half-mast as Government of India is observing one-day state mourning as a mark of respect to Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who passed away yesterday.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has wished the ruler of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, on being elected as the new President of the United Arab Emirates. In a tweet, Mr. Modi expressed confidence that under the dynamic and visionary leadership of Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, our comprehensive strategic partnership will continue to deepen.
And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
On the 14th of May 1857, during the First War of Independence, Bahadur Shah Zafar set up a national government at Delhi. After the outbreak of the First War of Independence against British rule at Meerut on the 10th of May 1857, when the revolting sepoys of the British Indian Army came to Delhi and implored Bahadur Shah to accept their service, he responded to their appeal and assumed leadership of the uprising as the Emperor of Hindustan.
Along with his sons and other members of the royal family, Bahadur Shah went up to Chandni Chowk and addressed the patriotic forces as the supporters of the uprising regarded him as their legitimate sovereign. The uprising against British rule started in many parts of the country in the name of Bahadur Shah.
Bahadur Shah set up a national government at Delhi on the 14th of May 1857, and all Hindu and Muslim officers, Raos and Rajas were called to attend the court. He also desired cooperation from all and thus sent circulars to the Jagirdars and Amirs calling upon them to join the war against the British. For the next 4 months, Delhi remained as the main centre of the First War of Independence.
We remember freedom fighter Arun Chandra Guha, who was born on the 14th of May 1892 in Barisal, Bengal. Guha ran Saraswati Library, through which he published his writings to arouse national sentiment. Guha also published a weekly journal titled Swadhinta that was banned in 1930, and 4 of its editors were convicted for sedition by the British.
Arun Chandra Guha joined the Jugantar Party in 1906. He was arrested and detained multiple times for his participation in the activities of this party. He was also arrested during the non-cooperation movement in 1920. After his release, he became a part of the West Bengal Pradesh Congress Committee. Subsequently, Guha joined the All India Congress Committee in 1923, where he continued as a member for 26 years.
Arun Chandra Guha was elected to the Constituent Assembly of India from West Bengal. He participated actively in the Constituent Assembly debates. He also served as a Member of Parliament in the 1st, 2nd and 3rd Lok Sabha. Guha was an avid writer. Some of his notable works include Aurobindo and Jugantar, Srishtiyo Sabhyata and Desh Parichaya. AIR News pays tribute to the great nationalist. We also remember Sudhanshu Bimal Chanda, who hailed from Chittagong. Sudhanshu was an active member of the Anushilan Samiti. He was arrested for his revolutionary activities on the 31st of May 1935 and detained in the Chittagong jail. Put under village domicile at Keshavpur, Jessore in 1935, he died on the 14th of May 1936. We salute freedom fighter Sudhanshu Bimal Chanda.
The 14th of May is also the death anniversary of nationalist Allah Bakhsh Umar Sumro. Born in 1903 in Sindh, now in Pakistan, Allah Bakhsh was a zamindar and a government contractor. After the creation of the Sindh province, he formed the Ittihad Party. In the first Legislative Assembly elections of 1937, the Ittihad Party, with the help of the Congress, formed the new ministry with Allah Bakhsh as Chief Minister. The government led by Allah Bakhsh continued to function from 1938 to 1942.
Being a true nationalist, Allah Bakhsh refused to join the separatist politics of the Muslim League. In 1940, when the All India Azad Conference was convened in Delhi, Allah Bakhsh was chosen to preside over the session. When the Quit India movement was launched, he rented a big bungalow at Karachi to help satyagrahis, and also visited the Karachi jail to help them. In September 1942, when the Quit India movement was at its peak, he resigned from the Defence Council and relinquished the titles given by the British in protest.
Unfortunately, the brave nationalist Allah Bakhsh Sumro was assassinated on the 14th of May 1943 by one of the Muslim League extremists while he was travelling to his hometown of Shikarpur. AIR News pays tribute to the brave son of the soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
FSSAI has launched Food Safety Connect app for food business operators and consumers. Download this app from Google Play Store and easily apply for FSSAI registration. Consumers can use this app to register food-related complaints. The world's most powerful industrialized nations, the Group of Seven, have declared they will never recognize new borders as a result of Russia's military operation of Ukraine. In a statement after a meeting of their foreign ministers, the G7 said it will never recognize borders Russia has attempted to change by military action and will uphold the engagement in the support of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine, including Crimea and all states. An agency report added that the statement also says the G7 will expand sanctions and keep supplying Ukraine with weapons. The G7 are Canada, Germany, France, Italy, Japan, and the UK and the US. The EU also has a seat at the table but is not counted in the 7.
Business magnate investor Elon Musk has said his $44 billion deal to buy Twitter is on hold after he queried the number of fake or spam accounts on the social media platform. However, Mr. Musk added later that he was still committed to the acquisition. But analysts speculated he could be seeking to renegotiate the price or even walk away from the takeover. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur has urged the people to participate in large numbers in the forthcoming 8th International Day of Yoga. He was addressing the Yoga Mahotsav organized at JLN Stadium in New Delhi, virtually from Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh.
अब तक लगभग 25,000 से ज्यादा कार्यक्रम अलग अलग मंत्रालय के अलग अलग लोगों ने किए। ये कार्यक्रम एक जागरूकता के लिए किया गया है आज कि 21 जून के लिए हमने अपना समय आज से ही तय कर देना, अपना स्थान आज से ही तय कर देना। हमें खुद भी योगा करनी है और अगले कुछ दिनों तक 14 मई से लेकर 21 जून तक हमें इसको हर गांव, हर तहसील, हर पंचायत, हर जगह तक पहुंचाने का प्रयास करना।
Heat wave and sultry conditions have returned to Delhi and many places in the northern part of the country with temperatures soaring above 45 degrees. The IMD has issued a yellow alert warning of a heat wave in most parts of Delhi on Friday and Saturday. Mercury is predicted to touch the 45 degrees Celsius mark again on Sunday. Temperatures may leap to 46 to 47 degrees Celsius at isolated places. IMD Director Mrityunjay Mohapatra said most parts in the north continue to experience high temperatures.
ये जो टेम्परेचर ऐसे जारी रहेगा अगले 2 दिन के लिए, यानी आज और कल, इसके साथ साथ जो विदर्भ एरिया है महाराष्ट्र के, वहाँ हीट वेव कंडीशंस रहेगा और राजस्थान, मध्य प्रदेश, वेस्ट यूपी और हरियाणा में सीवियर हीट वेव कंडीशंस रहने का उम्मीद है। इसलिए हम लोग ऑरेंज और रेड कलर वार्निंग आज जारी किए हैं। 15 नाइट से एक वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया को प्रभावित करने का पूर्वानुमान है और इसके प्रभाव में जो वेस्टर्न हिमालयन रीजन है वहाँ बारिश या थंडरस्टॉर्म होने का चेतावनी भी दिया गया है और इसके प्रभाव में ये टेम्परेचर जो अभी मोर देन नॉर्मल है लगभग 5 से 7 डिग्री सेल्सियस, उसमें गिरावट होगा।
In badminton, rejuvenated Indian male shuttlers will seek to create history when they will clash 14-time winners Indonesia in the final of the Thomas Cup at the Impact Arena in Bangkok, Thailand tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. While Indonesia have been relentless with an unbeaten record, India have lost just one match against Chinese Taipei in the group stage so far in the competition. In IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders were 129 for 5 in 15.5 overs against Sunrisers Hyderabad at MCS Stadium in Pune when reports last came in. Earlier, Kolkata Knight Riders won the toss in the playoff match and chose to bat. With 10 points each, Sunrisers Hyderabad and Kolkata Knight Riders are standing in the 7th and 8th position and will dig deep to earn valuable points from this match to improve their positions in league table. China has pulled out of hosting next year's AFC Asian Cup due to COVID-19 situation in the country. In a statement, the Asian Football Confederation AFC said the Chinese counterparts had told them they would not be able to host the tournament. A new host country would be confirmed soon, it added. China was awarded hosting rights of 2023 AFC Asian Cup in 2019 and the 2014 competition was scheduled to be held across 10 cities between June the 16th and 16th of July 2023. Next year's AFC Asian Cup has become the latest tournament to become victim of the ongoing COVID-19 outbreak in mainland China, with China already announced to postpone the University World Games.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Centre says decision to ban wheat export taken in view of price rise. Assures public distribution system will continue to distribute wheat without any hitch. Tripura BJP President Dr. Manik Saha elected as new Chief Minister after Biplab Kumar Deb resigns from CM's post. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says Russia-Ukraine conflict along with COVID pandemic impacted the world economy badly. Union Minister for Ports, Shipping and Waterways Sarbanand Sonowal asserts Indian cruise market has the potential to grow tenfold over the next decade. The Indian Embassy in Ukraine to resume operation in Kyiv from the 17th of this month. G7 declares never to recognize new borders as a result of Russia's military operation in Ukraine. Elon Musk puts deal to buy Twitter on hold over number of fake or spam accounts on the social media platform. China pull out of hosting next year's AFC Asian Cup due to COVID-19 situation in the country. In Thomas Cup badminton, India to face Indonesia in the summit clash tomorrow at Bangkok. India play their first ever final in 73-year history. And in IPL today, playoff match underway between Kolkata Knight Riders and Sunrisers Hyderabad at MCA Stadium, Pune. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.